tonight. My laptop got absolutely fried, and I did a quick backup, reformat. I'm ready to go. So let's get it tonight. Baitman in the house. Let me go ahead and get the chat button going, guys. Been a big day at the bait house. Baitman Jr. got to be on TV, or he's going to be on TV. He got to film with Mark Menendez. So Baitman Jr. did really good. They went pond fishing and had a great time. And I'm not gonna lie, I was a little worried about Bait Jr. And if you see me looking around, I'm sharing this on my Facebook page. Bait Jr. Started casting really, really well. It was a little slow. It's hard fishing a weightless wacky rig, especially for a 7-year-old. But these fish did not want anything moving. They wanted that little soft plastic. And I was messing around with the camera, checking batteries, and watching him cast. Next thing you know, he goes, "I got one." And dude hauled it in. It was, a pound and a half fish. None of these were big fish, but he had a blast. And I tell you what, I was really proud of Baitman Jr. because after we get out and filming and everything, Mark actually bought some Chick-fil-A, the good stuff. And Brooks got him some chicken nuggets, and we all cleaned up. And Mark said, "Well, I'll see you tomorrow." Me and Max, his son, we're going to stay around, and we're going to walk the pond and get the trash. And Brooks looked at me and goes, "I'm going to stay. I want to get the trash." And I was really proud of him. And that was a proud dad moment. That was probably as important, if not more important, than the fish catching, was that he wanted to stay around and clean up. And, we're driving home. He said, "Dad, we always got to make sure we pick our trash up. We don't want to be one of those people." And, dude, I love it. But he's tired, so he's not going to be on tonight. Bait Girl may show up, so Neely is really wanting to come on here. But what we're going to talk about tonight, we're going to talk about flipping and pitching jigs, some of the trailers I use, break them down, and whatnot. And I'm going to show you a little jig that is one of my favorites, and there's a major manufacturer that basically copied it. And, well, I want to know your thoughts on this. And I haven't even popped out the chat, guys. I'm sorry. But giveaway, I'm just going to let it run. We're going to do the giveaway. I'll do it on Easter because I don't want to go live, then re-go live because people get confused and all that stuff. So we're going to get Jank Juice on Easter because that's the Easter egg color, man. So, Michael, man, what's up, man? Sycamore Outdoors, man. I got your email. I just didn't reply to it. I appreciate it. Guggen Slayer, I love your streams. I love your nickname. That's awesome. What's up, Brad? I have not got my hair cut. I think I'm just going to grow it out into the most ridiculous mullet you've ever seen. It would look really bad. I'm going to grow long hair, so it's going to basically look like the Sting from 2015 at WrestleMania, where it's just a receding hairline and bald spot and long hair. That's exactly what it'd be. So, heck yeah, Ben Bizzle, glad you joined me. For you guys jumping in, make sure you smash the like button for me. New guys to the channel, if you want to, hit that subscribe button. You don't have to. I'm not going to beg you. But if you like the streams and stuff, hit the button for me. But make sure you smash the like button for me. What's up, Matt Ford? Dude, I grew a mullet, and it was pretty rough. I actually liked it when I had long hair, but now that it's going to fall out, I'm probably just going to put the one guard to it. What's up, Scott Henson? Fat Guy Bassin, well, I'm fixing to drink me one of these. Sponsor of the channel. Not really, but hey, call me, maybe. And we're going to talk about some jigs, man. We're going to talk about this guy right here, really in particular, which is the Oldham's trailer hook flipping jig. And this son of a gun is old school, and the guys that know about it, they love it. And it got knocked off by a pretty major company. And I'm not going to lie, I'm still in good graces with the company, but I'm going to show you exactly who did it. And it's been around for a long time. So, Have I ever used any old Storm subwarts? Sure haven't. I've got to stop live streaming, actually. I got to actually do some videos. I've had some time, but I've been trimming shrubs all day, and I'm really good at trimming a jig skirt, but I'm terrible at trimming shrubs. I cut my cord. This is the second time I've trimmed my hedges and shrubs, and I accidentally cut the extension cord. So the whole house power went out, tripped a breaker, all kinds of stuff. So yeah, I need a little help out there. What's up, Chuck Capel? Dude, LT, you send them, I'll review it, buddy. I see your stuff on Instagram and Facebook. Known you for a long time. You're definitely doing great with your LT jigs. Shower blows are awesome. Hey, speaking of Topwater, if you didn't see my Instagram post, check out this. There's probably about 5 of these in the world. This is a Reaction Innovation Vixen sent by my buddy Josh Heron. You know, Josh is the main guy over there at Reaction Innovations. He runs the show. And solid chrome. I don't think you're going to find that anywhere else. But, dude, this thing, it ain't a collector. I'm going to throw it. And if somebody already said it was a knockoff. So I'm just going to show you. When they come in a box that says Reaction Innovations, they ain't knocking nobody off. So I think I'm going to get Josh on a podcast. I got Ryan Coleman from Spot Sticker Baits. We're going to start Baitman Raw back up next week and get more content to you guys. So really excited for those guys to be on. Thank you, Andrew. The lighting, I think it's looking better. I still feel a little hot, not temperature-wise, but skin tones. But who cares about my skin? All we want to know, what do the baits look like? Oh, yeah. That's Okeechobee Crawl, the original Okeechobee Crawl from NetBait. It's kind of funny. Got knocked off color-wise by a lot of people. Yeah, Brad, that is a walking bait. So this Vixen originally came out in, I believe, 2008 or 2009. And, dude, this thing slays. It's so loud. See if you could hear this. It's got that good sound to it. But, man, the phone's going off already. Somebody just messaged me, sent me photos. I'm watching your stream is what it says. What kind of jig is that? Well, I can't answer you. And then my other buddy messaged me. Look at here. Check this out. It's my buddy from Bart Catlett. Check that out. 4 bass on an A-rig. And he got him some of these fat girls. Oh, Bart, if you watch this, I'll give you a shout out. So Robert Linson, the Paycheck Baits, you know, it's actually very similar. In fact, it's the exact bait as a Vixen. The Paycheck Repo Man were exactly like the original run of Vixens. And the second run of Vixens, there really wasn't that much different. Split rings and an eye tie. And Josh Heron at Reaction Innovations will tell you there's no difference in the density of plastic or anything or any of the internals. He said it's really the same bait. He said so. The Teckle is just like a Vixen. I'm going to go, I know the whole spill, and to keep all parties without fighting each other, I'm not going to put it up here because Hideki's nice to me. Josh is, you know, Bub Tosh, I've never met him. He seems all right. But Hideki didn't design the Vixen, man. I thought he did, but that was an Andre Moore deal. Hideki was the guy to get on to be manufactured over in China. And that's all I really want to say about that because I gotta step on eggshells. But the Teckle one's really good. But I like the Vixens as well. It's the same bait. I mean, I'll buy the Vixen because you can buy them cheaper, to be honest with you. The Mickey Rambler is a good bait. So is the River to Sea Rover. They're all basically this same mold. Even the 6 Sense Dogma is pretty cool. I'd love to get Bub on a podcast because there's a lot of questions to be asked about paycheck baits. I mean, they made a hell of a frog. They made a transporter frog. I got one. And it's just weird now that all that stuff, all the old paycheck, like the transporter frog, all that, and all the reaction innovations frog, all that stuff. Now, um, uh, all that stuff's coming back in Teckle, and it's crazy. That's all I can say. And I like the Teckle Sprinkler frog. That's original, but a lot of the other stuff is the same reaction innovations frog with different stuff on the back, and that's cool. Whatever. Yeah, dude. Bub seems cool. I always tease him on social media. I'll see him posting. I'm like, dude, get off your ass. We need some repo man. I actually like their flipping hook was really good. And the paycheck head case you put on, you could put on the front of some of your swim baits, keep the grass from going over the hook. So anyway, we're going to talk about these right here. This is flipping jigs. So last week we talked about soft plastics or whenever it was, and I actually really enjoy flipping a jig. Chuck, if you look around, the Tackle Trap has them. Scottsboro Tackle Company has some in stock as well. There'll be another run of them soon, but this is an Oldham's trailer hitch jig. Number one, shout out to one of my subscribers. He sent me a bunch of these, and this is basically my favorite color: black, blue, and purple. Man, this was way around before Beast Coast, and we'll get into the Beast Coast, but they were kind of the first guys to Oldham's was really the first ones to put this really heavy duty flipping hook in here. And what made his company unique is before anybody else, he was doing this right here. It was called the trailer hitch jig because they put the screw lock on here. Now, black, blue, and purple is about my favorite color. Not just because of the purple, I just like the profile. And they make a black and brown and amber, which was called Coonass, but they had to change it to Coontail. And if anybody wants to know, Coonass isn't a racist term. That's a Louisiana deal. If you've ever heard someone from Louisiana call each other a Coonass, that's where it comes from. So, but yeah, so trailer hitch jig, originator of the screw lock. Don't even want to tell you different. So all these companies talking about we got an innovative swim bait head with a screw lock. This was out way before. Now, nothing against those guys. I love the 6 Sense Divine swim bait head with the screw lock. There's all kinds out there, the True Lock and all that deal. That's cool. But the original deal was Oldham's. And then you may have been fishing with the Oldham's jig. You just didn't realize it because this guy right here, the Hack Attack jig, very popular. Everybody knows where the Hack Attack is. It is a copy of the Oldham's jig. How do I know that? I just know that. And still a good jig. Now they put a little bit bigger hook in here. It's still got that big flipping hook. And there's nothing wrong with this because I'll be honest, it's really hard to get a hold of Oldham's jigs. You kind of got to find them. They're hard to find. But he still makes them. So this is just your, basic green pumpkin candy style. The main difference, the Hack Attack jig, if you see that, there ain't no keeper back there. It's just got a little thing here. So you're not going to get a lot of crazy trailers on that, or you're not going to get a lock or anything to keep your trailers. You're going to have to glue them or just push them on there. But if you'll look, these freaking heads are very similar. The Hack Attack jig is just a little thinner. And the angle of the weed guard, I mean, It is very, very similar. I mean, yeah, they're close. Bigger hook in the Hack Attack than there is in the Oldhams, but you can get this Oldhams with a big hook. I've got them. So they couldn't put the screw lock on here, or yeah, Mr. Oldham was going to be very upset. Also, the Hack Attack spinnerbait is kind of a KO of the Oldham spinnerbait, but you know what? I'm still going to buy Strike King stuff. You know, Terry Oldham's getting up in age, and these are getting harder to get. You can use Mend It on a Zacho. Tom, I found out a way to reskirt that, and actually, Mark Menendez showed me, because let's just say he's used these jigs back in the day. And I said, how do I reskirt this? And he slides a skirt band over a pair of needle nose and opens it wide over through that. Or you kind of take like a wacky rig device, and it's a crazy deal, but just opening up the pliers to get around that screw, that works real well. But anyway, let's see if I got one rigged up in here. I should. So this is one I've got rigged up that I was actually going to go fish with. And this is that Oldham's flipping jig again. And then I've got a classic special kinky beaver on there. Or spicy beaver. I'm sorry, excuse me. I get confused. Beaver just gets my mind just turning. But that color is special for the Bassmaster Classic this year. But it makes that jig look really, really good. I don't know if you can tell. It's just like a hematoma, whatnot. There's some purple in some of them. But if I don't go with a trailer that kind of match, because I like to fish the jig a little bit more in dirtier water. I think it's a bulkier profile than a soft plastic. And sometimes I want to go with a really bright color. And like this guy right here, which is the Beyond Blue Spicy Beaver. And then you can take it and put it on here. But I don't want to twist it on there. Why do you turn your trailer sideways? That trailer ain't sideways. That one's nice and flat. Now, I only turn my trailer this way on swim jigs. But I've got this nice and even. That's funny, Dustin Taylor. I wish they made one called Landing Strip. I think that'd be hilarious. So you could go either way. You can go with a bright contrasted trailer, which we'll just put it up on this one. So that's kind of what that would look like. Or you can go with something that's a little bit darker. I like that darker profile for the most part. If the water is just stained, I'll go with that blue. A lot of guys really like, you know, this sapphire blue or whatnot. This one's called Beyond Blue. That's a great tip, Tom. Great, great tip. I think the Spicy Beaver is probably one of my favorite kind of grub trailer combos out there right now. That's funny, Jesse. That's real funny. But I want to just go through here and show you all the jigs I like to pitch and flip with, and you may like something totally different, and that's okay. And these are all in no particular order, and eventually I'll get these back in the box. So this is one my buddy Robert Danielson makes. This is the Angler's Assets Big Money Flipping Jig. And I know Dustin Taylor on here likes it, but he makes a couple colors I don't have, and I need to get some that are Really, really good. So check him out on Instagram. So this is basically kind of got your flat archy style head, which means if you want to skip this way back in the cover, you can do it. But this thing has a big monster 5/0 hook right there. And what I will say about this jig, you notice that weed guard, you don't have to trim it. It comes right to the point. That's what I like. A lot of companies put big giant weed guards on their jigs. I like it, and I'll trim them down. I'll show you here in a minute what I'll do. I'll trim them down. That color is like a green pumpkin purple. It don't even say on here, so I'm going to give it a color. Actually, it's called Royal Camo. So it's kind of got a little red, a little purple, some brown on it. And I'm going to put me a big chunk. When I'm flipping or pitching, that's a good question, Tackleworks. I don't typically trim my skirts that much. Maybe to the bottom. Damn, my son just slammed the door. What for? I'm busy. For what?
He did something bad.
Well, I'm on my string. We may have an emergency here at the bait house. Be right back. Family emergency. All right, I'm back. I'm sorry. I'm going to be, 100% real life, not faking anything up in here. My kids got some fart putty for Easter. It's funny. Well, my little girl, she decided she was going to mash it all into the carpet in our master bedroom. So, yeah. Anyway, we're back. We're back. But, big money flipping jig. So, I want to put a trailer on this. Let's dig into my bag of trailers. Dude, I got some good stuff in here. I like on these big profile flipping jigs like this right here. This is old school as it gets. Now, the color doesn't match, and that's okay. I like, if I'm going with a big flipping jig like this, I am going with a big salty chunk. So shout out to Zoom for big salty chunks. Old school. Going to have a nice soft fall, not a lot of crazy action. And I'm just going to rig this simple. I'm going to just go right through the middle. Whoop, like that right there. And I'm just going to hang it off. Going to hang that chunk off. Give it a little dangle. I'll never say that ever again, by the way. I can't say dangle because someone will think I'm one of them googers. But anyway, big chunk, big jig, just like to flip that right in there. My old school flipping pitching guys, you'll know about that big salty chunk. But that right there is a killer deal. Now, there's a lot of guys that actually rig this up here, and they'll put a toothpick. They'll run the toothpick this way through here. So when you put this over the bottom, guess what? When you set the hook, you don't lose your chunk. It's a pretty cool deal. We got beaver talk all the time in here. Let's see if I'll answer a few questions real quick. Yeah, it's totally overdone. If it was like in 1 or 2 videos, it'd be cool, but now everything's a dangle. And it's always weird that those guys steal each other's good stuff. Kind of like the ding thing. I'm done dinging, guys. No dings. What color chunk is that? That's a good question. This is one of my favorite colors. It's chartreuse pumpkin. If you see that real good here. Come on, focus again, camera. Color's called Chartreuse Pumpkin, and it's kind of hard to get in a big salty chunk. It's a kind of a special run, but you can find it. I actually love a lizard in this color. It's great. It's a very natural color. What's up, DIY Bass Fishing? I'm glad you're here, man. I haven't seen you in forever. I'm glad you joined the stream tonight. As always, make sure you guys smash that like button for me. Some kind of nasty colored beaver and call it Hillary's. Oh, Jesus. I tell you what, my favorite job ever in the world would be naming bait colors and baits. I think I'd be really good at it, or I'd get fired the first day. Dustin Taylor, do you ever use a piece of worm on the hook shaft when hanging my chunks? I don't, mostly because I'm lazy. I'm just letting you know. But there's a lot of guys that do that. Doesn't affect the action of the bait. Your trailer stays on. I could show guys how to do that if I had a worm laying around here. So, dude, those chunks are great. Anyway, so let's keep going here. This is a unique little jig right here. This is an expensive jig because it's got tungsten in it. A lot of people don't know this. This is a compact structure jig from Owner Hooks. And I do like a compact jig. But you'll notice it doesn't really have a big skirt at all. It's got a totally different, it doesn't have a big hook. And you say, well, if you're flipping and pitching, wouldn't you want a big hook and big skirt? Fish get finicky. And that's why I like this guy right here. Just a small profile. It's a really good looking skirt on it. It's a totally different material. And this isn't a big beefy flipping hook, but it is super sharp. You can throw this on like a 7'1", 7'2", medium heavy action rod. When I'm fishing really shallow water, you know, less than 2 feet deep, I like a small compact jig because I can pitch it, I can flip it, and it can be really quiet. And I'm not going to go with a crazy trailer on here. I'm going to do something like, again, this is one of my favorites. It's got a ton of action. That's the old packet chunk, flipping blue. Again, I'm just going to thread her up here. I like to thread my packet chunks, by the way. And this does have a keeper on here. See that keeper? This is a good, very well built jig. I'm just going to thread my packet chunk up here. It's a compact jig, so I'm really not going to have to trim the skirt too much. Actually, I am going to trim. See, that's a little long for me. That's a little long skirt. I want to see up that skirt a little bit. So how I trim it is I flip the son of a gun upside down. So I'm going to get this one prepared to fish right here. Give him a little haircut. So I'll flip the skirt upside down. I do like my wife does when she cuts hair. I don't want to get this stuff in my laptop, so I'm going to give her a little trim job here. If you cut too much, unlike your hair, the skirt doesn't grow back. Now we're cooking with gas. Nice and compact. Does have a little bit of tail there. We'll trim that up a little bit. I can see up the skirt real good. I got a nice compact jig. Really like this in really shallow water. Like it even better when the water is really clear. Very small natural presentation. When this thing's falling, you're going to get the flapping action of the packet chunk. Like that jig. Very expensive. These are $7.99. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm probably not going to buy a whole lot of these. I really like the Missile Baits mini flip for compact jigs and the dirty jiggers. We'll get into that in a minute. But that's a good jig. That's an Owner. A lot of people don't know Owner makes a jig. I've got skirt trimmings everywhere. I know guys that trim all their skirts before they go fishing. I just trim them on the water. Man, I like that. I think I need to take that and catch one on that. So, all right, what else we got for flipping jigs? I might go old school. Oh, yeah. Now, again, I don't know where to get the trailer. $7.99. Yeah, I wouldn't skip a dock with it, but you know what? I'll play with it. Now this is one, and I've never been able to show this on a live stream because Kitech sent this to me and said don't put that on here. Crawfather is awesome. That's a loaded question, Mike. I'll get to it. I promise you. So if you guys are asking questions and you want me to make sure you answer your question, just hit that super chat donation, $1, $10, don't care, but it highlights it so I don't skip over it. This is a Kitech flipping jig, and it is tungsten, and it is one of the biggest flipping jigs I've ever seen, and I have not used it, but I'm very curious about this trailer. This is like a Zoom Salty Pro chunk. Look at this. And it has been like elongated even longer. And it's made by Kitech. Now I've never seen them in the United States. They sent this to me and was like, "Do not show this. Go play with it." I'm like, "Well, hell, I'm not going to show it if I can't. If I fish it, I got to show it." But that's kind of a magic craw blue skirt. It's a weird material. I like it. I mean, that's a big dude right here. And that is a giant freaking hook on it. Again, if I'm going to go fish Lake Fork, Falcon, even Kentucky Lake in the heyday, where I know big fish live 5 to 8 pound fish, I'm going to flip a big jig with a big hook. And I'm going extra big profile. This color here, you know, it's kind of like an Okeechobee craw, magic craw. That's going to be decent in almost any kind of water. Maybe not chocolate milk, but you can get away with it in stained to clear water. Really like that. I need to figure out where I can get more of these jigs because this is tungsten. So if you notice, I think this one weighs almost 1 ounce. Well, this is a 1/2 ounce hack attack, and the head is smaller than a hack attack. That's crazy. But that jig, man, that's such a big profile. Man, this is like a kind of like a twerk, which is a good trailer, but it's even got longer legs. This is like the Carrie Underwood version of the twerk. I'd love to see Carrie Underwood twerk it. Hit the thumbs up button if you agree. Yeah, this dude don't have a tiny hook. That's faux show. I'll actually be nice to it and put it back in the box. Where did I get this son of a gun at? Now here's one of my old school favorites. One of my favorite flipping jigs ever made, and this one's been tied on. This is the old rattleback jig, or ultimate rattling jig. Again, I've trimmed this skirt up already. It flares out really good. I do fish on chick every now and then. That's a Texas craw. Again, I don't go crazy with my trailers. See if I can find one I'd throw on here. I used to just pretty much always use Zoom. I don't think I got enough trailers in here. Oh yeah, here we go. This is another net bait back craw. This color is Abra. I just call it Abracadabra. It's really hard for a redneck like me, but just a little green trailer on a little green jig. And I have really trimmed the weed guard, and I've flared it out. These come with super thick weed guards. It's like my unibrow on these things. But I love these ultimate rattling jigs. The hook shank is not very long, but for some reason they get this hook. Again, I used to be a pack a craw guy. That's about all it is. Just a compact little jig. Ultimate rattling jig right there, man. On that Texas craw. Got a little gold flake in this right here. It really matches really well. Believe it or not, I don't throw that in dirty water. I like this in just normal color water right here. What's up, Bass and Panda? What's the JDM trailer with rings that looks like a fat leech? That's a good question. One thing I like, on this ultimate rattling jig, and nobody else does this that I've seen. You've got 2 rattles in this chamber right here, and you see how flat that makes it. And this jig skips so well. It's one of the best skipping jigs you will find. Yes, G-crack, whatever. It's called a bellows stick. And I had some. I don't know what happened to them. They sent me a lot of stuff one time. I need to get them to hook me up with some of that new tackle. Let's see where I get this guy. Now, I got one of these bad dudes already rigged up. One of the most popular flipping jigs out there now. This is the Scott Canterbury flipping jig from Dirty Jigs. Again, a bigger profile jig, and I got one of my favorite trailers on there. That is a Pack of Slim, which you see it's solid body, and that's green pumpkin chartreuse tips. See them little chartreuse tips on it. But you want to talk about a good jig, this one's it. You know, it's got that unique head to it. Again, it's got a big flipping hook on there. Now, this is a very natural color. You know, Kentucky Lake is definitely cleared up in the last several years. And after the water's up for a couple days and everything settles, the water seems to clear up. And I go to something like this. This is Matt's Mix Up. You may know it as Oops from D&L. That's just a very natural color. Got a little purple in the skirt as well. Really like these. You can get these on Dirty Jigs Tackle. You can get them at Tackle Warehouse. My guys over at NetBait, Justin swore, but I throw that quite a bit. Again, these are bigger jigs. I'm going for big bites when I flip these. I actually probably don't catch as many fish flipping a jig, but I catch better quality. And a lot of times I'm after that quality, especially in a tournament situation. Now, I got some other colors I like. Y'all know this was coming. But I got a little special trailer for this color. It's my man. It's a Scott Canterbury flipping jig in Baxter's Bug. So they eat that sucker right there. Just like a roadkill with chartreuse really is what that. But I'll show you the trailer I like on this. And, you know, I usually use a summer crawl out deep. But I figured something out up shallow. Someone asked if I like rage craws. I do. Let me find my guy here. I'll find the right one. We're going to get sneaky on you. This is top secret. You can't tell anybody. If you ever, I don't know if you've ever fished up shallow and you see bass flash in the bushes because they're chasing bait fish and stuff like that. Well, I like the old Baxter's Bug. And I like this color right here. Roadkill. See how bright that is? But it's kind of subdued. It's like really like a gold brown. It's kind of like a really shiny turd. So I'm not going to stick that in my mouth. So I'm just going to cut that a little bit. And this is a cool deal here. Going to have a lot of action on this. And I want it to because if those, I know the fish, there's a lot of bait in the butt brush. This color on this jig flashes really good. Check that out. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That is that roadkill rage crawl on a Scott Canterbury flipping jig. That's my color, Baxter's Bug. I don't even think they put that out anywhere. So if you want that color skirt, you need to email Kurt at Dirty Jigs and say, hey man, need some Baxter's Bug skirts. And if you're here locally, Fast Eddie's Bait and Tackle carries Baxter's Bug skirts. Dirty Jigs Tackle, man. I'll be honest. I think I got a swim jig here. This is really close. This is in a swim jig. I'd love to get this in the hybrid jig. This is from 6 Cents. I forgot the color, but this is very similar. A little bit finer skirt. Of course, this is a swim jig. It's a totally different show. Y'all can go watch Darian is fishing. He tries really hard to let you guys know about swim jigs. Good dude. Very similar. If we can get that green down right, I think we're going to have a new Divine jig color. But love that Canterbury flipping jig. I probably use this in the Olems right now more than anything. And I got to using the Divine jig from 6 Cents last year. I'm going to show you some tricks on that one too. But again, the skirt's really, or the weed guard, it's not too long. I might trim it a little bit, but it's very soft. If you don't want to trim it, a lot of guys just spread their weed guard apart a little bit. Yeah, the TW Strike King Green Pumpkin is a good one. So, again, we got best of both worlds. A lot of action on the fall here. Roadkill, Rage Craw. Not a Kraken Craw. This is the original, the Strike King. And then you got the Netbait Pekka Slim. One I'm going to fish in Clearwater. I'll fish this in Clearwater, but if I want a lot of flash and really get that bass's attention, I put that Baxter's bug with the Roadkill on there. It is kind of hard to find. Tackle Warehouse Carrier. Jeremy Devlin, I love Baxter's bug, especially deep without a weed guard. You damn right, Devlin. That's a deal, man, especially on Pickwick. That's the Baxter's bug. That's a defuse special, man. You know what? Stroker Craw is a good trailer. I haven't got to fish it up shallow yet, but I'm going to put it on a couple jigs here in just a little bit. I have used the Cowboy. I use it. I like those real long stuff like that, more of out deep. For some reason, I don't have a whole lot of luck with double tails and stuff. The Stroker Craws got enough. It's not super crazy action. It's really good, but it's not super long. You know, stuff like the Cowboy and the Mermaid, I feel that's better on like football jigs or fished out deep or fished by itself. All right, let me put these back in the box. I don't want to lose on my jigs. I'll be honest with you guys, this is a really underrated color too. Which is a green pumpkin red. Oh yeah, they call that Kentucky Craw. Speaking of, look here. There are times when bass want these really small, compact jigs. This is a quarter ounce. Quarter ounce. And I'm going and I like these. This is a Dirty Jigs. This is the Luke Clawson compact pitching jig. I actually have a video. The first time I ever fished it, caught several fish. Got a really small hook, but it's stout. You'll notice it's also got a keeper down here. When I'm fishing really shallow, like less than a foot, I like a really small jig. If I'm fishing a bank that's got a lot of rock and I'm pitching to, that you'll get hung up a lot in the rock with like a 3/8 or a 1/2 ounce jig, especially around wood. A lot of guys pitch to cover on riprap. These small jigs like that are nice. So I'm going to use a baby Rage Craw or a really small beaver. And now, Strike King has that guy. Or this guy. It's just like one of my favorite colors ever. And we're going to use this baby Rage Bug on this jig. A little orange, a little red. Got a little crawfish action coming. So I'm going to trim this one up. I'm going to be honest with you. That skirt for me, I've got to trim that. So we're gonna give her a little haircut right here. I'm gonna get this guy ready to go fishing. You see where it got a little short and long? I'm gonna cut it all right here. By the way, these scissors from 6 cents are badass. Jigs for heavy cover grass. Man, I don't fish a lot of grass, so I'm probably the wrong person to ask for that. I know the scrape jig's really good. The medlock jig, that's the deal. Double weed guards. I still think that trailer's a little too long, so we're gonna keep on trimming. All right, that's about the perfect size for me right there. I'll take my little rage bug. I'm going to match it to match it. I want my orange side matching my orange side. Does it make a difference? No. So now, look at that. Would you look at that? Would you look at that right there? Got my weed guard all spread out. That, a finesse pitching jig right there. I like to pull my trailers apart. Oh my gosh. Do we got a fire crawl flipping jig? Shoo-wee. Again, that's a Dirty Jigs Luke Clausen compact pitching jig. Really like that guy right there. My river rats, guys with a lot of fishing pressure, these 1/4 ounce flipping jigs will catch you big bites. They're going to fall really slow. A lot of guys like a half or 3/4, and that's me. You get a quick fall, shake it once or twice, and move on to the next brush, buck brush, or lay down. These little 1/4 ounce ones, they fall really slow, and they just fish sees it, and he just can't handle that. Really like them when fish are finicky, ultra shallow water, or I'm fishing a lot of rock with wood mixed in. That is Kentucky Craw is that color, David. I like Omega jigs, man. I don't have any of their flipping jigs. I've just got their structure jig and football jigs, but I do like Omega jigs. Man, I'm not going to be one of those guys. If I had fire crawls to sell, they'd be $15.99, just like they're supposed to be. So, Kentucky Crawl, this might be on Tackle Warehouse. If not, it's on the Dirty Jigs website. I'm going to start ordering some skirt material. We're going to build our own stuff. 6 Cents has some great jig skirts too. I'm not a big fan of the Canterbury jig and the rocks. That's going to be a brush fishing jig. I really like the Luke Clausen finesse jig as well. I do not inject air into the claws of my craw. I don't use any craws that really can put air in. I'll be honest, I don't think it matters if they stand up or not. I'll argue blue in the face. You're right, Jason. A lot of stores now carry the fire crawl. Now, I'm going to get another, while we're at it, I might as well get another finesse jig out. And this is one of the most popular finesse flipping jigs ever. And this is the D&L Baby Advantage jig. And look how finesse that skirt is cut. Ew. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Baby frog hair. That's what they call it. It's a frog hair skirt. Now, this is a really good jig around wood. You see that? See that right there? That's where your line goes in. Recessed up top, so when you set the hook, it drives home. Pretty thick, decent weed guard, but D&L, these are cheap. These are like $2. They might have gone up to $3. They're made in Eastern Kentucky, but man, these are super, super popular. Again, I like a small trailer with a small jig, so let's put this. This is the Baby Rage Bug. And man, this is a good little bait. We all know what the big Rage Bug does. You could put a baby pack of craw on here, a tiny pack of craw. Woo, Baby Rage Bug. Now I'll trim that skirt up a little bit too as well. That's long for me. See how long that is? Yeah, kind of in the skirt deal, that's a Pentecostal right there. We want 80s hair metal, not Pentecostal going to church deal on our skirts. So, but I love these D&L jigs. Throw this guy in the box somewhere. See what else I got for flipping jigs. Oh yeah, we gotta talk about you. Got a shout out to Beast Coast Fishing, man. They make some awesome flipping jigs. And I'm going to show you the ones I carry, the colors. So this is the G-Spo flipping battle flip from Beast Coast Tungsten. Very compact. This is California 420. You know, whatever. I think we're all adults here. But it's a compactor jig. Woo. Compactor, trash compactor. It's a compact jig. Stout hook on this thing, man. It was built for heavy cover and give a small presentation. That's the 420 color. And I like this one right here. This is like a June bug color. Check that out. And on the back, I have a black light zoom Z-Craw. Z-Craw is an amazing trailer. It's a great flipping bait in itself. I like it flipping it on a jig. This is another dirty water color. I'm going with this guy right here. You can see that tinsel is all standing out, man. For some reason, that little bit of flash, I really think the fish like that stuff. But man, I like how now we can really see the detail in the colors. And then this is another color. And I forgot the exact, it's like a magic crawl. You put whatever trailer you want to on that thing. That looks really, really good. That's the G-Spro. I've used this one. Man, Beast Coast is making some good stuff. And they also make this other one. It's got more of a squared head on it. See, that head is different. It's more pointed. It's more for grass flipping. That's the assault jig. But man, the Beast Coast skirts are awesome. I really like their skirts. So got a double thick weed guard. It's actually double wide. It's not super thick. It's just double wide. I want guys to know that. And it's made for a heavy cover. Let's see what else we got in here. So where was that? Okay. Here's another Angler's Assets. I like this, a real natural color. Big money flipping jig. Again, clear water. I like to go those pumpkins and some chartreuse, a little red in there. One of the biggest hooks you got out there. The old school Arky style head, man, it's really good. Comes through wood really good and skips really good. What jig would I throw if I were fishing from the bank? I would throw just a 3/8 jig. I wouldn't throw a flipping jig. I'd throw a casting style jig from the bank or a ball head jig. That's kind of my favorite deal if I'm from the bank. All right. See what else we got here. Let's talk about, oh man, my shoulders bother me really bad. I've jacked it up somehow. So here's another company that makes a big flipping jig. This is from Trophy Bass Company. Yes, we're fixing to get into the 6 cents hybrid jig here in just a minute, Jason. It's a great jig. It really is. This is kind of like a half. You see it's got a little flat spot. So when this jig lands, it's supposed to like stand up. This is from Trophy Bass Company. And endorsed by Casey Scanlon. Great dude. It's got again, there's that wire keeper that's becoming really, really popular. But I like the green pumpkin and the blue. That's a good color. You can fish it in the dirtiest water, clear water, really, really good. I got an opinion on the New Tech jig with the double plastic weed guard. I've never used it, so I can't give you an honest opinion. I wish someone would make some uh, out deep. If I want to use a weed guard, I like the two little prongs. Z-Man does that on their football jig. They put the little two things up there. Those are really nice. But this is a nice jig, very well done. Good flipping jig here. All right. Now, on to the other box. Who's messaged me? I'm getting text messages like crazy up in here. Got a jig with two big frog hooks in it. I don't know. I wouldn't know who makes that. Strike King quarter ounce bitsy flip. I had one somewhere. All right, here. I've got the bitsy bug, but the bitsy flip has a different hook in it. I think it's awesome. Did you know that is one of Strike King's top 5 selling baits every year is the bitsy bug? And I'll go on to say that the bitsy craw sells within the top 10. A lot of the guys that like the bitsy bug love the craws. All right, Mike, I use football jigs a lot, but I notice they get hung up in the boulders in the lake. I fish from shore, but it seems to get wedged in between them. Should I be using a different type jig? Well, to be honest with you, a round ball will come through rocks better than a football jig, in my opinion. But a round ball is going to get hung up in brush. And also, when you're fishing, anytime you're fishing shallow water to deep water, you're coming uphill. Whereas if I'm fishing a ledge, I'm sitting in deep water throwing to shallow water, so I'm coming downhill. So your jig is actually driving straight in to the bank when you're fishing offshore. So you want something that's going to come over rocks a little bit easier. I'd go to more of a round ball head or maybe even more of a triangle shaped jig. You probably won't get hung up as much. But football jigs are meant to drag on gravel and patches of rock, but they're not good around riprap and big rock. You will get hung up a lot more. And I'd actually lighten my jig up a little bit. Bitsy Flip is a really good jig, very underrated. Dang, 250 people in here. I better see some smashes on that like button, or I won't stream. Yeah, I'll stream probably. But Mike, that's definitely what I do when I fished off the bank. I fished a lot of 3/8 ounce jigs, just because that lighter jig doesn't tend to fall down in there as much. That 6 Sense Divine hybrid jig is really good for what you're wanting to do. And that's not a big time plug. That's a right style ahead. The Strike King structure jig is a very good jig. I flip it, I skip it, and I drag it around. It's got that right style head to it. All right, Fat Guy Bassin asks, do you change line size depending on what you're doing with the jig, or do you fish the same with everything? I flip 20-pound fluorocarbon. When I throw out deep, I throw 17-pound fluorocarbon. So 20 just gives me a little extra surety. Now, I will fish braid. If I think I can get away, I'll throw 65-pound braid, and I'll put a 17 or 20-pound fluorocarbon leader on there. About 6 foot long is what the leader length is, because I'm probably fishing bushes or laydowns in that 3 to 6 foot range. So that's, I've got a 7.5, 7.6 rod. So I want about a 6 foot leader on that. Impact Structure Guard works. Mark Pack's a good guy, and that's a really good jig. It's great for fishing out deep, and it's not a gimmick. It does work. I need to get one of the Hank Cherry Dock Rocker jig. I've heard a lot of good things about it. Let's see what kind of trailers I'm working with here. Let's get them 6 cents jigs out here. I'll show you what I'm working with here. So the reason I like this jig, this is the 6 cents Divine Hybrid Jig. There's so many colors I couldn't tell you all the colors. Very natural looking skirt, so I'll say that. This is a light one. This is a 3/8 ounce. This is kind of like a magic crawl. Let's see if we can't pair this dude with the right color stroker crawl. Got so many good ones here. Oh, we'll just go simple. We'll just go simple. I got one. I'm really excited about showing you though. I'll go ahead and get all these stroker crawls out here. There we go. Stroker crawl. Divine Hybrid Jig. This is just a green pumpkin stroker crawl. I'm going to thread this dude up there. That's how I like to do it. Come out somewhere around the top of the body. Gotta trim the skirt up. Gotta trim the skirt up. It's the only thing I'll have to do. Let's make this one ready to fish. But see how this head is pointy, but still got some roundness to it? That's going to help it come through cover. These jigs skip really, really good. I'm going to show you the one that I love in just a minute. Just trim this one up. Oh yeah, much better. Love that magic crawl like color, man. That right there is a great clear water color. Anywhere in the country, you can catch fish on that thing right there. The one I really like. Oh, I found her. I have found her. So the first time I used this jig was last year, and I started skipping it under laydowns. Yes, I can skip a jig, believe it or not. It was this one right here. This is Candy Bluegill. Check that guy out. Got some bluish purple in it, but it's got that green pumpkin with some red flake in it. Dude, that one is nasty. Chance Coates, what knot do you use for the braid to fluorocarbon leader? I use the RP knot. Look up Brent Ayler RP knot on YouTube. It works really, really good, and it's fast. Now, saying that, I have to try to tie it like 3 times, but when you get it right, dude, it is the bomb. So now, we have this stroker crawl in gill dust. Thank you, Adam Mahara. I appreciate you joining in, man. Bico Jigs. I'll be honest with you, between the 6 cents, between this jig and that ultimate rattling jig, I think that's the best two I've found that skips. Love the mini flip, man. Mini flip. Thanks, Whitewell. Yeah, guys, there is 25% off. You can get 25% off this bait right here, or any soft plastics on the 6 cents website. Let me get that code. I think it's 25% off. 6 cents. Code, I believe, is SP25. And that's all the soft plastics. Even the ones on clearance, you can get dirt cheap. But I want to see what this gill dust here, boy. Look at gill dust. She's just looking purpley and sparkly. See how she looks on this right candy bluegill. I think it goes to April 18th. April 18th or 16th. Now, this is a ½ ounce. The ½ ounce hybrid jig, and I gotta let you guys know, has a little bigger hook than the 3/8 or the quarter. Or MF25, it's still 25% off. I wish I should have told Casey to give me my own code. Oh yeah. Let's get some sexiness going right here. Oh my goodness. I might have just found something I've got to tie on. That man, that candy gill with the gill dust, stroker crawl. Oh, hold me back. Hold me back. But here's what I was originally using. This is the guy right here. I showed it last week. Was this guy right here. That is a full-size rage bug. Mike Dove, what products is the code good for? All soft plastics. Divine Shaky Worm, the Clout 5.4, the Stroker Crawl. If it's soft plastics, that 25% you will save on it. I was actually using this version. I don't know if they still do it, but so 6 cents they make this Divine Jig with the finesse cut skirt. This is a 3/8, okay? Um, man, I went to war with this jig right here in the head. If you'll notice here, it's still holding up good. No paint chipped off of it. But what I did is I took this chameleon rage bug right here, and I'll cut me a little head off here. Cut me a little head off. So now I've got a kind of more of a compact style jig. And what I like about adding the rage bug or a stroker crawl, anything that's got that real flat back to it, you know, see the flat? It's nice flat. This is flat. They can skip well if I want it to. But that guy right there last year was nasty. Got a real finesse cut skirt on it. It's not near as thick as this one, so you can kind of see the difference. But yeah, dude, that chameleon rage bug on that Divine hybrid jig, that's money. Dude, rage bug is awesome. Baitman, does that gill dust look a lot with roadkill with flare? It's actually, I would say it's more like that amber green without the green. You know that black, brown, and amber color, Dustin? It's more like that with purple and red flake. It's not quite roadkill. Pack of Slims are freaking awesome. But what's cool about flipping a jig is one guy may like a stroker crawl in this color, another guy may like a rage bug, and then another guy, he just wants to put a daggone rage lobster on there, just the biggest thing he can. Experiment and play. Figure out what works best for you. I do know these jigs work really good for me, and I've got a load of them. Like big black and blue one right here. Love that. This is a cool color. This is different. I've not fished it. I thought, why not have a jig that's got green and purple in it, sprayed grass? So we're going to make us a little sprayed grass jig. And we're going to put something on the back of it. And see, I got so many prawns over here. Oh my goodness. Somebody buy my stuff for 25% off. So maybe we want a jig that's really subtle. It doesn't have much action at all to it. That's when you take the prawn, and we just want to flip this in, and we're going to just sit there and leave it. There's a lot of times a fish bite flipping where it's just sitting there. It'll take me a 6 cents prawn. Now they are a lot more stiff than a rage bug, I'm going to be honest with you. But the prawn wasn't designed to have a lot of action. It just kind of falls. No problem, white whale fishing. Have a good one, man. I can't believe we've been on here for an hour and 10 minutes. I'm going to trim this prawn up just a little bit. See, it's got the third layer here. I'm going to cut off the third little segment. Let's see what this looks like on the back. of this guy. We just want a big, beefy profile. I think, guys, we have made a match. We have made a match. So your jig's going to glide a little bit more, kind of going to have a little spiraling action with that profile when it's sitting there. Pop these things. Oh, yeah. Let's give this, this is going to go in the A list. I think we're going to go fishing with this jig. Looks like a good clear water flipping color to me. Dude, that is sexy as all get out right there. Shoo-wee. Wow. I probably should have got some stroker crawls in that color. I believe we want to eat that. And you know what? You probably also got a little bit of a bluegill. You know, that's kind of a bluegillish-like color. Maybe even dip the tip of that chartreuse. 2 away from 100 likes. Let's get it. There's a good question. 30 pieces of silver. Why don't you have 50 pieces of silver? Yeah, thumbs down is better than no thumbs. But you know what I say to thumbs down? Read between the lines. Thumbs down. I personally like, if I'm throwing deep, I like a 7 or 8 to 1. If I'm flipping, believe it or not, I like a 6, 8 to 1 or 7, 5. And you're going to say, why would you throw a 6? I'm not that far from a fish, and a 6 to 1 has a lot of torque on it. You got more torque on a 6, 8 or 6, 4 to 1 than you do a 7, 5 or 7 to 1 ratio reel. I don't like an 8 to 1. I know some guys really like them. I personally, I like a 6.5 or a 7 to 1. That's my favorite. 7, 5. You got more torque. It's kind of like you can have 500 horsepower in a car, but if your ass end's real light, it ain't going to matter. You're going to sit there and spin the wheels. Whereas the guy that's got 300 horsepower and he's got it all at the rear wheel, he's going to take off from you. So, yeah, dude, smallmouth crush taking away my views, man. No, I'm just kidding. I wish Travis would have asked me to be on one of his shows, but we can wish in one hand and shit in the other and see which one fills up faster. Shady Banks, I'm glad you asked that. So, I'll get to the tube in a minute. We just made one of the juiciest freaking jigs. Thumbnail pick right here on that. I'm not even putting that back. And well, I'm gonna have to put it in the package because I can't fit the jig in there with it. Dude, check this one out. I love this. This is like that green pumpkin blue. Oh man, that's a nasty color. I love their skirts, man. They do really, really good with the skirts. And I like this really natural shell looking color. And I would love to see them run a special on the dadgum jigs. I like, again, green pumpkin, little magic crawl. But I really like the divine jig. But we got to get on to some other topics. Somebody asked about a freaking tube. If Epic Eric starts his own stream, I'll probably delete my channel because he's like the real bait man. I got my nickname from Fletcher Shyrock. He's a real bait man. Eric is a good dude, man. Super good dude. Let me get a little organized real quick. Let's get organized. So I'm going to redo this box just a little bit. I've got finesse jigs in here, but this is my flipping football jig box. I'm going to change it out to or casting jig in football, but I got finesse jigs in there. This is all going to be casting jigs and finesse jigs. I don't know. I got a lot of freaking jigs in here. That's the Bass Mafia 3700 ice box. Kevin has one box of 27 brand jigs. Then he has another box of only 6-cent jigs. Actually, all my football jigs are in here too. So I got a ton of football jigs in here as well. Yes, I heard about Eric and Travis auction last night. I hope Eric did not sell um, those flat A's because I want the flat A. I need to buy a dark sleeper. Everyone but me has. I've got a few. I don't throw it very much. Uh, I got a buddy named Eric Blankendahl. They're on in Nashville. Uh, that's his favorite bait at Percy Priest is a dark sleeper. Eric, if you're watching, I'm sorry I just gave away your secret, but he smashes them on that thing. All I noticed, I did see him sell some flipping the birds that were kind of like a frog that wound up in discount bins. I think that bait could have been modified a little bit better. He's looking for a flat A sunfish color if I have one. I don't have one in sunfish color. Sure don't. Oh, let me put this stuff up and get organized a little bit. Oh, man. I got to get to go fishing. I was going to go fishing today after we got done filming, but couldn't make it happen. But we're going to get some fishing in. I'll be honest, guys. I ain't got a boat. I'm going to get me a kayak. Y'all cool with me fishing out of a kayak? Once them Donald Trump bucks come, I'm going to stimulate a little bit of the economy. Probably get me a bona fide kayak. I like those pretty well. Or maybe even a Hobie. I don't know. We'll see. You know, I may be fishing off a raft. I may just go build a boat like Ben Milliken did. I'm not the guy that hates on pond fishing. I'm just going to let you know I like catching them. And not everybody can afford a boat. And I want people on my channel to use baits any way possible. I don't want the guys to go, well, can't watch Baitman stream because it only works if you're in a bass boat. I want you to catch fish flipping jigs from the bank, in a kayak, in a bass boat. It's about the baits here. It's about the baits and catching janks. It's not about whose boat runs 100 miles an hour, which is cool, or who spends the most on a boat. If you got it, you know, hey, I'll tell you right now, if I win the lottery tonight, won $10 million, I'd have a Vexus. If you got them SIGs, smoke them. That's all I can say. I ain't going to hate on you. If you can't afford a bass boat, can't afford a kayak, go fish off the bank. Take a kid fishing, man. It's awesome. I'm going to go whack some big bluegill here in the next week or two. Go take Baitman Jr. I would love to go slay some janks in Michigan. That's a good deal on the vibe. I do like a bona fide. I've paddled them. I like them quite a bit. I wouldn't mind the Old Town. Old Town kayaks, they're giving all the YouTubers kayaks. Guys that never even fish out of them get kayaks. Except for Cole and Jay. They're always fishing out of theirs, but they're giving everybody a kayak. I want to give Baitman a kayak. That's all right. Have I ever fished with dynamite? No, but I have thrown bottle rockets in the lake when I was little. I thought maybe I would blow up a fish. Didn't work. Dude, that's the thing. My shoulder is jacked up. Long story short, I'll let you guys know I was young. I was dumb. I had a badass Grizzly 700 EFI four-wheeler. And I went up a big hill with a cooler on the back of my four-wheeler and a girl on the back. And tipped over on me. It landed on my shoulder. And I never went and saw the doctor. And I played baseball and all that. And it just, man, it's jacked up. And dude, Old Toad, what's up, my man? I hadn't seen you in here in a while. And thank you for that $10. Make you holler. And same to you, DIY bass fishing. That's the guy. I'm going to go down there and check out kayaks at Hook One in Nashville, right around Nashville. They are one of the premier kayak outfitters in the country. And you know, I sold kayaks. I know about uh, Old Town and Bonafide and Jackson. I like the Jackson I had at one time, but I just want something I can put in the back of my truck. And I've got the Clarksville Refuge here, a huge giant creek. I can go creek fishing. I can go. I want to go bow fishing out of one. So yeah, it's ATVs are fun. But people do dumb shit on them, and I'm one of those guys that did. What would I throw at Chick right now? I would be bed fishing, and I would also be throwing a glide bait or a swim bait, like a 316 Rising Sun. I think you would absolutely smash them, but I would definitely be bed fishing. Michigan declared early on the entire Constitution. What is up, Kid Iraq? I've seen Mark Zona put on a thing. They don't want you to use. You can go fish, I think. Uh, you can use a boat, but you can't use an outboard. So what's crazy with all that's going on? Why would you? Wouldn't you want people to be able to go somewhere faster? I don't get it. I don't get it. So definitely call that Michigan governor. And if I was them, I'd say, listen, fire Harbaugh too. He's a weird dude. That's where this is coming from. Jim Harbaugh is ruining Michigan. Toad, yes, lakes are still open here. We don't have any ramps closed. A lot of people said they would. They did put a hold on fishing tournaments, clubs, big levels, whatever. But all the ramps here are open. Uh, Andy comes on at 4 o'clock, our governor, Andy Brashear, every day to give an update. I don't agree with all his politics. He's handled this thing well, but I feel like we're fixing to get a big dose of abuse of power. It's funny. We all remember somebody that was almost impeached for abuse of power. But anyway, let's get off that. That's crazy, Mike Dove. What's up, Baitman? This is refreshing after watching smallmouth auction. See it? Go Buckeyes. I'm actually not one of those guys that hates Ohio State, to be honest with you. I think Urban Meyer is one of the best college football coaches ever. He just happens to have a lot of heart attacks. Their coach now is good. Let's see. I did see the auction on the baits. I'd love to do that. Do you guys think that I should have a Baitman auction? And if we do, I'm going to have a moderator. The only thing I saw last night, and you know what? It's your auction. You do it how you want to. There were some guys that bid more than what they sold them for. And I don't know if it was going so fast, trying to keep up. So if I do a bait auction, if you guys think I should, hit the thumbs up button. I'm just going to do a timer. If I said, hey, got some extra rage crawls, I got 5 packs of these, go. We'll have a 1 minute timer. When a minute's up, that's when the final bid will go. Opinion on the re-innovation twerk. Have had success. I like the twerk, but I'm more of a super chunk guy, Dustin. I think the super chunk's a little softer. I don't know if the action's that much better, but I, like you, have had better luck with that. David, that's right, man. What color was it I showed you? I really like those kayaks, man. They're really, really nice. They're very stable. Yes. I don't really want to take all the money and put it in my pocket. If I have a Baitman, is Craig Powers who makes the crank and popper. Yes, Craig Powers, CP Baits. If I want to do an auction, I want to be able to donate some of that money somewhere. Thomas, what's new from 6 cents? Man, you got some stuff coming. I'm going to tell you there's going to be some new stuff coming in the next month or two. So what we'll do, we'll figure out a charity we'll give a percentage of. And, I got a ton of stuff. Some of it's junk. Some of it I may pull out some flat A's. I may pull out some rattle traps, some 6 cents baits, put some packages together, and we'll raise some money. And, I want to make a little money on stuff too, but I also want to give back and donate some. So, dude, nothing beats Baitman and driving a fork truck. That's awesome, man, but be careful. Make sure you stop at those crossways, dude. Any 6 cents cranks coming out similar to the Mutt? Well, you've got the flat 75X, which is a big version of the Mutt, but I would love to see one. Yeah, we could do something. That's a good one. I like donating to charities where I know that where that money goes to. St. Jude's is a really good one. The Ronald McDonald Charity House, that's a good one as well. So, what do I think of the True Bass swim baits? I swear somebody from True Bass watches this because they ask me every week. Um, be real honest with you. I never really liked the True Bass swim baits when they first come out. I didn't think they had very good action. Their colors looked like a third grader designed them, and they still kind of do. But now that they had a small size, they had this little head, and they had the fat head. So you had like a 4.5 inch bait, and then you had this really big one. Now they've got something in between. I kind of like that one better. I think they might have tweaked it. If I'm going to replace a Bastrix, and I say this all the time, I'm going Zoom Swimmer or the Berkeley Hollow Belly, or I'm just going to totally go Scottsboro Tackle. I'm not saying they're bad baits. I know they catch fish, just not my cup of tea, but I'm willing to try them again. Drew, the spawn is coming to Kentucky right now, brother. It is on. The first wave of fish are up, and they are on. A-Red Fishing, I wish I had some mutts. I don't. I sure don't. I'm not deep in the wood game like Eric is. I agree, Mike Dove. Maybe we donate that locally. So you guys need to let me know which baits you want a Jank Juice in. I'll email Casey this week. I would love to see Jank Juice in the C15 and C20. And I would love to see it in the Topwater like the Dogma. I think Lucky Craft used to make a table rock shad Sammy, and a lot of guys really like that bait. It's something different, especially for smallmouth. They see that bright flash going across. I would love to get Eric back on here. I just don't want to invade. Him and Travis are great friends. I don't want Travis think I'm trying to steal him over. I don't know if the Axis is coming in Jank Juice. As good as it sells, I think it's possible. Not for sure. Could be possible. I don't know why Jackal quit making the 55. I can tell you why, because it didn't sell. And that's the sad part. When baits are imported, especially Jackal, and I'll be honest, and me and Ben at the Hookup Tackle talked about this on the podcast. A lot of people over here, they like shit on Jackal. They think they're like Lucky Craft knockoffs. Well, Jackal's been around for years in Japan and is like one of the biggest companies. And I don't think people over here gave them a fair chance, but now that people have learned, they really like Jackal stuff. Their Chunk Crawl is a great soft plastic, man. The Archelon is amazing. I really like the Rhythm Wave. I like the Pompadour, the Rearrange. They make really, really good baits in the Super Eruption. But I would like to see, 6 Cents do a Crush 55 flat, like a smaller version of that 75. I better not say that too loud, or the Goobers will knock it off. They'll take my idea. They like to do stuff. You do like the Berkeley Topwaters or don't? I actually love the Chapo. That's my hot take is I like the Chapo as good as a Whopper Plopper. Now, all their pop, I don't know about the Bullet Pop. It looks kind of good. I haven't used it, but I do like the Chapo. And I like their weight bait, the bull weight. So, all right, cranks are my biggest weakness. Any tips or advice when throwing them? Number one, you got to keep it wet. Get you a decent crankbait rod. You've got to have a rod that loads up. I cannot stress that enough. Even on a 10XD, I've seen guys when they throw them on real stiff rods, you got to be able to feel that bait wiggling. Just like you want to feel a jig crawl across rocks, you want to feel a crankbait moving around down there. You don't have to have a giant expensive cranking setup. Get you a Lew's, David Fritz cranking stick, get you a 6-3-1 reel, and just go at it. And start shallow cranking instead of try to learn deep cranking. Start throwing your square bills and stuff you can throw more throughout the year. And then once you say, hey, man, I'm having some luck at the shallow cranking, then step up and go to your 10 to 12, 15-foot divers. If you ever get on a good offshore bite on a crankbait, it will change your life. It's kind of like It's different. Gantarelle is an amazing swim bait. It's a very good beginner swim bait. All right. Dude, I would love a finesse curving jait juice. That would be a good deal. Favorite Dobbins rod for GT6? Probably just a 704 CB. 704 CB. That's a really good one. Someone asked me if I was sponsored by Dobbins, and I'm not. But Gary Dobbins makes a hell of a rod for about anything you want to do, except Carolina rigging and hula popper. Ball 21. How do you like those Tiger rods? So I found out who made this prototype chatterbait rod. There's a guy named Tiger Rods. I don't know where he's at. I sent him a message. I'm going to let you know. I used this rod. It was black. It was blank. It had no label on it. This was the baddest son of a gun I'd ever used to throw a chatterbait on. It had backbone. It was almost like a crankbait rod. It was a little bit stiffer, but it had so much tip. It was amazing throwing a Thunder Cricket on. I've got to get one. I think it would be a game changer for me. I like a stiff rod a little bit when I'm more around grass, but this thing was awesome in open water. So, yeah, check out Hella Bass for the Dobbins stuff, man. Any thoughts on Halo series of rods? I'll be honest, when they first come out, they're junk. They had a shit-ass customer service, and you sat on a lot of rods when you were a retailer, and they didn't hold up their warranty. Now that Justin Sward has taken over Halo, a lot of the operations here, he's American Bait Works, Net Bait. He's going to take care of the customer, and I've got to play with some of their new stuff, man. The Krypton series or whatnot, the ones Canterbury using, they are really, really nice. I'm probably going to grab a couple and fish with them this year. So the new Halo stuff is a lot better than the old ones. I got to get familiar with all their new stuff. And I'm going to be honest, a guy like JT Kenny could probably use anything he wants. He's been with Halo forever. Same with Canterbury. It's dip 30, guys. I've got some stuff I got to show y'all before I jump off here. I found one of the most old school flipping baits. Look at here. Check out that old school package, baby. Lake Fork Bait and Tackle. So the guy that introduced me, and the tube is a jig. This color, purple haze. I don't think you can get these anymore. My man Kelly Jordan, this is his favorite flipping bait, and it's an awesome bed fishing bait. But I use this color, and I can't find any more. So if you know where any purple haze craw tubes are, I don't want the big bites. I want the Lake Forks. Let me know. Our water gets really, really clear sometimes in the backs of the creeks. And I really like flipping these around boat docks. I catch a lot of fish on these. And this is the old school package. But man, these things stink, man. They really stink. Like worse than my daughter's diapers stink. Somebody asked about the Crawfather. Amazing trailer. Do you like those finesse jigs? That on the back of those Kitech football jigs is freaking money right there. Arc and Halo are not the same. Just to let you guys know. So, the owner of Arc and the owner of Halo at one time were business partners. I won't mention their names. Don't need to do that. And I forgot what happened. Long story. They split and Arc was formed. And I like the Arc rods, man. They're really nice. Obviously Tharp, he went with Arc, got his own signature series of rods and stuff like that. And then Halo did its own thing, and now they were kind of bought by American Bait Works and kind of getting a relaunch. I mean, I'll be honest with you, I'll pull no punches. From a retailer side, there were a lot of dealers and retailers really upset with Halo. I think they're good people. We're good people over there. They always treated me fine, but you know, not holding up to the warranties, customer service went on par, and they were really pushy on sales. And I think a lot of people backed off of them. Brandon Cobb seems like a good dude. Never met him, but seems like a pretty good dude. I'll tell you, Adam, take that craw father and you put it on a small finesse jig like a. We'll just go. I'll just show you how. Let me find one here. So yeah, yes, Lake Fork Lures right here. The original Mark Pax Lake Fork Trophy Bait and Tackle. That's the old Lake Fork baits. I mean, I bet that package is 15, 20 years old right here. Look at that. Used by, see if we can see this, used by Kelly Jordan, Wesley Strader, and Todd Fairclough. All right, let's get a craw father. So I went to Del Hollow Lake a few years ago, and I took this jig right here. This is the Kitech football jig. Look at this little bitty hook. I mean, it's itty bitty. And I could not find a good trailer because my dadgum trailer is bigger than my jig. So what did I do? I took a craw father and I cut it about right here. Made me a finesse craw. I'll just call it the craw baby father. Well, what would the girls say now? That was your baby daddy? Yeah, we got a baby daddy craw. And I took it on this little finesse jig and I ran it right up here. And that right there on Del Hollow Lake will smash lights in. It is a really itty bitty finesse football jig, and that will eat that sucker. Perfect size. Perfect size. The baby daddy craw. Does not pay child support. Right here. That's what you're looking for. We looking for a baby daddy is looking for a female. Right there. Yep, John Cruz is a good dude. Time to crash. We about got that right. I've been up all day. I can't wait to come back in and clean this place up tomorrow. Let's see here. What else do I got in here? Dude, new tuck. So I'm gonna let the cat out of the bag. Mr. Brent Ayler used to order these all the time for me. This is the big ass 5-inch Gambler flipping tube. Love that guy right there. And what's cool about this, it's green pumpkin on the outside. If you can see that, it's chartreuse on the inside. Ice cream paint job. These are a little stiffer. They hold up really well. This is a great big time flipping bait. So that is the tungsten football, Joe Hoskins. All right. What color is the 6th Sense Divine Swimbait behind you? Has chartreuse on it. This one right here. This is Sexy-Fied Shad. Man, that's a sexy looking bait. You do a lot of stuff with that Divine Swimbait. On sale. Get this thing on sale. 25% off right now. I don't really follow Alabama Bass Guide very much. Pocket Rocket's a sweet bait. And I'll be honest, I haven't had time to watch a lot of YouTube this week. So, Pocket Rocket, it's an excellent bait. But I better watch what I say. I don't really have anything against that guy, but he really doesn't like me. He'll let you know it. Um, but just whatever. This dude's a good fisherman. I won't take that away from nobody. So yeah, man, I need some snack daddies. They are great tubes, but anyway, um, dang, we've been on for almost 2 hours. SP25 for 25% off 6 cents soft plastics. Strike King 6XD or C15. I'm going to be honest with you. C15 won't dive as deep. I really have caught a ton of fish on a 6XD. So I'm going to say both. I've smashed their lights out on a 6XD, and I've caught them pretty decent on a C15, but I haven't used the C15 as much. I like some of the colors on the 6 cents better. But man, all you really need is chartreuse powder blue. I don't care. Rapala, I've said it before, Rapala DT16, I've cashed more checks with that than any of them. Yeah, 6XDs, I don't change the hooks. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I'm lazy. I'll break so many crankbaits off that I'm not gonna sink a bunch of money into hooks for the most part. Your brother said Strike King ain't good anymore. Well, I'm not gonna call your brother a liar. That's just his opinion. I think Strike King is still good. They make a ton of great baits. Anytime though, you have a company mass producing baits. I don't care if it's Strike King, 6 Cents, Berkeley, whoever. You're going to get a few baits that aren't as good as the rest. And here's a hot freaking take right here. I saw a post. It was on the Strike King page. And a guy said, let me pull it up. I took a screenshot of this thing right here. My favorite jig reel, Tatula SV. I took a screenshot so I don't misquote this guy. It says, it was on a Strike King post. It said, the paint job is on point. I bought a 6 cents crankbait. He misspelled. It's 6 cents, not 6. About a month ago. Now it catches big fish, but I've only caught 5 on it, and the paint job is almost gone. So, let me tell you here. Most cranks, 6 cents, Spro, Strike King, they clear coat their baits. You know how hard it is for paint to fall off? It is extremely, extremely hard. So if this dude caught 5 fish and the paint was almost gone, number one, the bait worked. Dude was catching fish on it. Number two, I want to see a photo of a bait where the paint fell off. Stroker Craw colors for clear to slight stained water here in South Carolina. Get that Bluegrass Magic, man. For some reason, that's an amazing color in slightly stained to clear water. Dark Melon Craw is always good. Green Pumpkin and Gill Dust, if you can find those. Nice comment, Jay Pony. I like that. Don't back down. I try not to. But Dark Melon Red's a really good one, man. I just like that. You can fish stained water, clear water, very natural. Gill Dust, any of those transparent colors. Green Pumpkin Burst is a good one. But anyway, what I was saying is, when I dig through my crankbaits and it's tournament time, and I'm going to go to my crankbaits that have got teeth marks, the paint's knocked off, or is fading on them. Those are baits that obviously they catch fish. So when someone makes a comment, and it has nothing to do with 6 cents, I just thought it was interesting that why would you say, well, I caught 5 big fish on it, but the paint's almost falling off? Dude, that's the one I pick up and throw over a brand new one in the package because I know it works. And I'll tell you a funny story. speaking of paycheck baits, this goes from my retail days. A guy brought me back a Repo Man, and it was chewed up. It had teeth marks on it, but the paint, you could tell had been hitting rocks or something. He said, "I need to exchange this." And I said, "What do you mean?" "Well, the paint's falling off." I said, "Well, how long you had the bait?" "Well, I've only had it, a week." And I said, "Dude, how many teeth marks are on this thing?" "Dude, there's hook rashes from the treble swing and all that." And he's like, "Well, the paint's falling off." And it definitely was flaking off a little bit. But this thing was old. And when I say old, it was probably 2 years old. And again, went above and beyond. I gave the guy a brand new one. I took the other one and fished it. And I caught a bunch of fish on it. It was bone and it had faded. It was clear on the bottom. I just thought funny, he wanted a new one, yet they made a bone with a clear belly. Ooh, Montana, man. I love Montana. Cranks for smallmouth here in Montana. I would go kind of finesse on them. I've not been up there, so I don't know if I could give you a great opinion, but 15 more minutes and the bunny is coming. Church is canceled. Well, here's the deal about Easter, guys. Easter's not canceled. The bunny might be canceled, but yeah, he is risen. That's the reason for Easter and the reason I do this show. And, that's the real deal. Lucille, Jesus is risen. He's come back. Forgive us of all our sins. I'm not perfect, so I'm glad he's there in my life. And I'm not going to get on a religious endeavor, but that's how I stand on it. Yeah, man. I think the paint jobs on the provokes hold up pretty good, but the more you catch fish on them, the more you bang around rocks, I don't care who makes it, you are going to scratch up your bait and all that stuff. Dude, Lucky Crafts used to be some of the worst baits for great paint jobs. They got hook rash almost instantly. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and wish you guys a happy Easter. And what's funny is Jank Juice was always inspired by a rattle trap color called sour grape, and I used to nickname it the Easter egg. So just remember, Jank Juice is the Easter egg of crankbaits. But anyway, I'm going to jump off here. Guys, spend some time with Bait Girl and Baitman Jr. That's a good question, Don G. I don't know the exact answer, but you should show off the Vixen you posted. It's all chrome. Josh, I did this guy right here, first of the stream. But I'm going to jump off here, get the thumbnail. Make sure you guys smash the like button. And tomorrow after it's upload, I want you guys to leave a comment and tell me your favorite crazy color that would look like an Easter egg. Tell me your favorite Easter egg color in the comments after the video is uploaded. So guys, thank you so much. Spend some time with your family. Be safe. Be careful. God bless you all.